Hello, my lovely audience. Anyway, welcome to another video. Okay. Bendy and the ink machine. Well, technically, Bendy and the Dark Revival, but... Anyway, let's just get into the video. Why am I singing so much? Okay. So, we start our story off with a woman and a man. The man is sitting at a table with a bunch of sketches on it, which are somewhat difficult to make out. With a psychotic grin on the man's face and a twitchy eye, he says, Inko, remember that incident with Bendy? The green-haired woman, aka Ingo, wouldn't reply. Yes, Hasashi, he killed most of our staff. Well then, what if? Just hear me out. What if we made a new mascot? Part human, part ink. Wouldn't that just, you know... The woman looked extremely, irritated at the man's stupidity, but sighed and said, we can't just replace Bendy. What about, like, a sidekick? The man smiled sinisterly, aka Hasashi. That could work. Just someone there to keep him in check. Oh, this is gonna blow their socks off. Time skip. 4 years later, a young Katsuki Bakugo is busy nagging at his mother on why they are going to some stupid and TV studio, like TV production studio. Oh. Mitsuki replies, we're going to see a friend of mine. You might be able to play with her son. He lives there, so you'll be able to play with all of his toys. Katsuki would then be like, is this quite cool? I could say that. Mitsuki would reply. They would enter the building. Where they would meet Inko. She would show them around and show Katsuki Bakugo to Izuku's room. He would see a boy about his age with, a tail with a point at the end, green but also black hair. One of his eyes appeared to be lacking any form of color and was just pitch black. Well, not like the color of the eye, I forgot the name. The color of the eye is just pitch black, that bit, not the full eye, just the color of it. And his pupil is white. So, one eye is white, green, black. The other is white, black, white. They would immediately lock eyes, and they would, become friends. You know what, fuck it. Bakugo's a girl in this, because might as well. Though around the middle school period of their lives, something absolutely horrible would happen at the ink factory. Well, at the TV factory known as I'm calling the place Midoriya Studios. Midoriya Studios would essentially, in its primary building, in its main animation studio, where Hasashi and Inko and Izuku were located, there would be a genocide, both leaving the company in bankruptcy and, making it so that Deku, his mother, and his father would go missing. And, the rest of the employees were found scattered about, ripped in half, and, well, killed in brutal ways which I don't want to get into. The only remnants of what could have happened to the little boy named Deku was ink. Ink throughout the building, and ink in his room, and ink everywhere. Many a police and investigator would enter the building only to meet a similar fate. Their bodies would be strung up outside of the building with the words written in ink, "Don't come near us again. We won't be so." And it would cut off at the "so" with each letter. So eventually, they would just stop sending investigators, and while Bakugo would of course be enraged at this, at the fact that her best friend had gone missing, probably killed, and the police were dealing with like one killer, and it was over like So, when Bakugo, of course, would get into the hero exams, she would pass, and she would also end up inheriting One for All. Yeah. After a while of everything going on, we do a bit of a time skip about a few years, like right after the sports festival. Eri would be saved this time by Bakugo instead of Deku. Yeah, the sports festival after that, like a month after. Bakugo would be standing in front of the old, broken down building. She would take in a deep breath, take a step, and then hear immediately, "Hey, Bakube!" and immediately get pissed the fuck off. She would immediately turn, facing Mina, annoyed, and say, "Why are you here, Pinky? Why are you here, Pinky?" Mina, of course, would reply, "Oh, we just came here to, see what you're doing at this old place of mass genocide." "What do you mean by we?" Before Bakugo could finish her sentence, she would immediately be put into a hug by the noble Kirishima, by the noble individual known as Kirishima. What does I'll just go with this. "Bakugo, I was so worried you just walked into that place of genocide. Please don't do that again. Without us. First of all, get off me, shitty hair. Second of all, who else is here?" Denki would just come out from behind Mina like, "Hi, I'm here." "Okay, did all of you guys come here or..." "Nope, just us." "Okay, good. If you must know, I'm planning on investigating." Kirishima would immediately respond, "Ooh, hero work." And Mina would respond, "Ooh, can we join?" with stars in her eyes. Bakugo would look away, pouting, with her arms crossed, and say, "No way." Denki would say, "Am I dumb, or does this seem like a personal thing?" Bakugo would reply with, "Both." Bakugo would say, "Yeah, it's both." Denki, of course, would immediately lose his resolve, His finger would deflate. And then Mina would pull a cup of tea out of nowhere and say, "Ooh, tea?" Bakugo would have the look in her eyes. Oh no, I said too much. After a few minutes of Mina nagging Bakugo to tell her what is going on, why Bakugo's here, and why is it personal, after a while Bakugo decides. Bakugo lets out a heavy sigh and says, "Fine." Bakugo would put her hand over her face and say, "I don't know how to explain this, but I'll try." Bakugo would then say, Look, my best friend was here when the whole, I'll call it the, I don't know, slaughter. The slaughter incident. When the slaughter incident happened, he actually lived here, and I want to know what happened to him. His body was not found, so I'm kinda hoping to find something. Pathetic, right? Kirishima would immediately respond, "No, that's not pathetic. That's one of the manliest things I've ever heard." And then immediately hug Bakugo. Saying, "You look like you needed it." Bakugo would just get pissed off and say, "This is why I don't open up to you dumb nerds." Well, and Mina just says, well, after hearing that entire little speech, we can't just let you wander around in a abandoned ink factory / cartoon production studios alone, can we, Kiri? Gary, babe. Kirishima would say, "Of course not. I still have..." Denki would walk in and say, "I still have no idea why you call all the men you meet babe." Mina just does that nose thing you see in anime where she rubs her finger up against her nose and says, "Wouldn't you like to know?" Leaving Denki visibly confused. Bakugo's already at the entrance like, "Are you idiots coming or what?" Upon them entering the ink factory, and as the door shut behind them, it would close with a massive clank and a creaking noise. They would wander through the halls, hearing nothing but dead silence, until they would hear scurrying and immediately got into a defensive position. Bakugo, who was using her quirk to light up the way, would quickly turn around, only to see a note written in ink that says, "If you want to find your old friend, you'll have to go deeper in, Katsuki." No, it would say, "Kachan." Bakugo would immediately just look at the paper and crumple it up in sheer anger and say, "That bastard must still be here. They're toying with me." The rest of the people in the building, the others would feel Bakugo's killing intent. As they would go deeper in, they would walk down a set of stairs with the trap door shutting behind them. They were now stuck. Well, Bakugo could just blow a hole out, but that quickly will not become an option. They hear stomping around and a sinister cackle, and they would hear a voice. "You come here without purpose. I will show you your purpose. Become one with the ink. Become one with me. Your purpose shall be found." as Bakugo and her friends would quickly feel what felt like a hand, a tail, and another hand grabbing them individually, with Kirishima slamming into Denki as they get pulled into a corner. As a large creature looking like this would stomp by, saying, "You can't hide forever, newcomers." You certainly can't hide, and you definitely can't run for long, before it would quickly scurry off. Oh, that was a close one, an unknown voice would say before Bakugo would grab them by the collar and say, "Who the fuck are you? And what was that thing?" Denki would end up switching on a near light, which was off, seeing a tall individual with one of their eyes being covered entirely by ink, with, well, green and black hair. They have a long tail, and they would say, "Whoa, whoa, Kachan, chill, chill!" Bakugo would immediately stop, stare at them. It, it, Izuku? Yeah, it's me. Chill. Bakugo would quickly wrap Deku in a bear hug, which would make Kirishima blush. Like, I did not know she could hug that hard. Ooh, Kirishima's blushing. Mina would say. Denki would just be in the corner like, I don't understand any of this, I'm just happy I caused joy. Bakugo would quickly snap out of her, "Oh my goodness, are you okay?" moment, and slap Deku. Like, where have you been for the last few years? I mean, I was so worried about you, and what was that thing? Deku would just put his hand over Bakugo's mouth like, shut up. Shut up. If you carry on, we will die. That was Bendy. And you remember the old cartoons, right? Yeah? Yeah, we do. Wait, weren't those cartoons rebooted? Yeah, by, Kachan's father, right? I, I have difficulty remembering all too much going on because I've been down here for so long. One thing that I liked about my old man is that he made this place have unlimited electricity and unlimited internet reception by very illegally taking us off of the turn off and also turn on lists of, well, every power plant in Japan and every cell provider in Japan. This place is a ghost factory. So I can kinda stay up to date with things. Bakugo would then slap Deku again, like, that doesn't explain why you've been staying down here. Deku would just stare at her. Isn't it obvious? The nightmare monster, the other creatures down here? What do you mean by other creatures? Oh, you just got here, didn't you? Whoopsie daisy. Well, first of all, you're trapped here. Second of all, you're trapped here. Yeah, Deku would say, putting his hands together. So, I hope you enjoy your stay at, one of the layers of hell. I can't remember which one was an abandoned a factory, but Denki would immediately step in like, dude, chill. Like, this place can't be that bad. Deku would just stare at him and say, look, my creation, Bendy's creation, the creation of the rest of the things down here, let's just say Christians would not approve. Denki would just shut his mouth, because he is a Christian in this what if, and just be like, oh no, what have I done? Why am I here? Oh no. Fun fact, I'm actually a Christian in real life. Not my name. Like, I believe in the Lord. Okay, let's continue. Everyone would just go quiet after that one. Okay. Wow, Bakugo, you're... Oh, hey! Oh! Deku would put both of his hands on his mouth and then realize something. Does Kacchan have some friends? Oh, hi, I'm Izuku. It would say, quickly grabbing Mina and Kirishima's hands, shaking them violently. And he would wrap his tail around Denki's hand and shake that as well very violently, giving 3 handshakes at the same time. What's your names? He would say, sitting on, well, one of these stools, which he had pulled to him using his tail. I'm Mina, this is Kirishima, and that's Denki. Oh, hi, Mina, Kirishima, and Denki. I'm Izuku Midoriya. Nice meeting you. But for some reason everyone calls me either Deku, Bendy's mascot, or that one weird creepy thing that has a bad habit of eating ink. What do you mean by eating ink? It's kind of the only food down here. They would just stare at him like, you've been living off of ink? I'm made out of it, come on. They would say, slightly annoyed, but not really caring at that all too much. They would hear stomping again, and Izuku would immediately switch off the light, grab them all, once again using his hands and his tail, and press them up against the wall, and himself, as, well, this would come running by again. Come on. Where are they? I have to find them before Izuku does, because he always seems to show mercy to these purposeless, delectable snacks. Maybe if I get him something to eat, he'll be a little less friendly to our prey. The creature would say, storming off. Mina would all yell, you know that, before getting her hand muffled, almost alerting Bendy. He would take his hand off and say, wow, Bakugo, your friends really do have a death wish, don't they? Look, Izuku, just tell us, what happened to Kacchan? Oh yeah, sorry. It's been a while. Still, yeah. Kacchan, your friends have a death wish. I'm just saying that. Bakugo immediately says, okay, I get it. How do we get out of here? Well, you can't, because that thing you saw seals off all exits once it's alerted. With, well, let's just say a pentagram made from ink. That creates a special barrier, which makes it so that all exits are inaccessible. The only way to disarm these barriers and, well, do anything here is to show Bendy a tape labeled The End. But that tape has been stored very, very deep within the factory, along with the sheer fact that, well, it may be indestructible, but so is Bendy, mostly. So we'll have to stay very quiet, and if you manage to show him the tape, that would help, but he would soon be able to resurrect, as one of the main gimmicks of this place is that it's constantly resetting itself. What do you mean by resetting? Mina would say, and Denki would say, what's resetting? Everyone would just look at Denki like he's an idiot. Deku would respond with, first of all, if Bendy comes after us, I'm throwing him at him so the rest of us can escape. Is that okay? All of them just raise their hands like, Agreed. Then he just sheds one lonesome tear. Oh, you guys don't like me. Then Deku would say, well, what I mean by resetting is that this place is constantly, well, bringing everything back to life, resetting all damage and hallways destroyed and all burnt ink, but the issue is that it keeps on deteriorating with each cycle. Though showing Bendy the tape would fully restore this place, which may be good, especially since I'm so tired of walking through puddles of ink. Look, I'm made out of it. It feels like walking through your own blood. But managed to do that, you could get out. Although there's one slight complication. What's that? The hordes and hordes and hordes of killer nightmare monsters, including Alice Angel. Oh! Mina would say, jumping in excitement. I know her. Oh, she was my favorite character from the cartoon. Wait, she's gonna kill us? Well, technically there's two of her. Mina would just look starstruck and surprised and scared at the same time. Okay, you'll be able to tell them apart very easily. One of them has their face falling off. Mina would just be like, ah! Actually, everyone would be like, ah! Not in that way, like half of her face is not fully made, so it's kind of deteriorating off. She's very obsessed with collecting ink in order to try and fix herself. Then there's the other Alice Angel, which is actually a very nice one. I call her Allison. She's actually extremely nice, surprisingly enough, and she's the one who told me about the tape thing. Apparently she's been down here for a lot longer. Oh yeah, and then there's Boris. Once again, there's two of them. One's skinny, the other is extremely fat. The fat one wants to kill you, no surprise. Sorry, Fatcom. But, yeah. Anyway, so those are the two people you have to probably look out for. And, oh yeah, then there's the Lost. Well, I call them the Lost. They're kind of like trapped souls in the ink that just sort of clumped together and are now like walking corpses. It's a whole zombie thing. What do they look like? A Lost would appear behind Mina trying to kill her. Like from the games, it's two glowing yellow eyes, a skeletal ink form, and its mouth is hanging like one of those porygons you see, just hanging and swinging around. It's weird. That's a Lost one. Bakugo? Bakugo would blow up the creature, igniting it in flames. Fun fact, ink burns. Ink burns really well. And the thing would just burn into nothing. Bakugo would just ask, did I just kill someone? Nah. Every cycle they come back. They're like cockroaches. They can't die. Bakugo would just be like, okay, I didn't commit murder. Look, I'm pretty sure if you did kill that thing, it would be an exorcism. Anyway, Izuku would reply in a psychotically cheerish tone. Denki would say, he reminds me of Nezu. Mina would reply with, I know, right? Oh, I know him. Both of them would just say, like everyone would say, why am I not surprised? Yeah, he's a monster down here. Sometimes he has a bad habit of breaking through walls. Nezu, the little mouse man. Yeah, he's surprisingly scary. We can agree to that. All of them say in unison. Well, I'm waiting for Bendy to return my pipe. Not in that way, you pervs. He would just say, looking at Kaminari, at Denki. He would just say that looking at Denki, who was giving him a side eye. No, like my metal pipe that I use to bash in these things' skulls. I'm waiting for him to return that. He would hear stomping and say, "Hide, hide! Maybe he has my pipe." Oh, there you are, Izuku. I already know that you've probably found the people who are down here, so where are you hiding them? Wouldn't you like to know? Yes, I would, Izuku. We're supposed to be partners in this. You know how I feel about murder. You actively kill lost ones. Yeah? Do you complain? Do you complain when I kill that one guy who seems to never stop cultishly worshipping you? Touche. Here's your pipe anyway. Little Bendy didn't want to return it strictly because it was a nice tap dancing cane, so I'm returning it whilst he's asleep. Oh, hide it, he would say before shrinking down into Little Bendy. Izuku would hide it, and Little Bendy would walk away in a daze. Mina would whisper, "Holy shit, that is Bendy. Why is he so cute and yet so murderous?" Anyway, I'm ending this off here. Goodbye, my lovely, lovely audience, and, bye-bye.